So there is some interesting, juicy stuff in this notebook. I don't really know what to call it. Maybe a journal, maybe a diary, maybe a running log. But basically this is the notebook that I started writing my runs in 2015 when I was kind of getting my more serious start into running. I was pretty serious in 8th grade and freshman year, but I got a bad injury my 8th grade year and it put me out for like 8 months. And then I was working back up my freshman year. But this was really my start to my running career, my start to getting to where I am today. And since then I haven't had any huge injuries. It's just been, me steadily grinding, steadily making my way to where I am today. So it's really interesting to take a look back. So we're gonna take a look back together. I'm gonna tell you some funny stories and we are gonna see what is inside this notebook. Let's take a look inside. But actually, before we completely get into this, I just want to mention the fact that if you are a newer runner, if you are a younger runner, if you are a high school runner, no matter where you're at, really if you are one of those high school earlier runners, I think this can be super interesting and serve as a great example of coming from where you were to where you want to be. And honestly, when I was here running these 17, 16, 45, 5Ks, I never imagined that I would be here running a 1446. And obviously, I still have goals. I still want to be somewhere else. I want to be running much faster. And so it's cool to see where I was, where I am, and where I want to be. But let's get into reading this notebook, getting into the juicy juice. Let's do it. Let's get started with the first entry in the notebook, which is from 6/9/15. It was a 3.44 mile run in 29 minutes and 31 seconds, which is an 8:35 pace, which is crazy to see because of now an 8:35 pace, all that stuff. So it read, first run after my 2 weeks off. My legs were still sore from all my cycling. Run at Deep Run Park, super warm. Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna lie, this is like kind of embarrassing. First day of summer practice, we ran 30 minutes slow for the new people, then sped up the last 10 minutes. Achilles flared up while running. So I don't know, it's kind of embarrassing that I was went slow for the new people as if I was so superior or something. But and then I looked at the run and I was it was probably maybe 7-minute pace, something like that. And it was 3.9 miles, an 8:59 pace in 35 minutes and 2 seconds. So pretty interesting. My Achilles did flare up and this was a trend. I remember at the start of my sophomore year, it was a trend that my Achilles would start flaring up and then I kind of took a little bit of time down. And I think as I read through this, a lot of it, Achilles still bugging me, stuff like that, because my Achilles was my big issue. During my 8th grade year, I basically got Achilles tendonitis before I went to nationals. And I didn't run at nationals because I had Achilles tendonitis and would have ruptured and all that stuff. But then all freshman year I was just trying to come back and it took so long and my Achilles would still flare up and still do all this stuff. And so taking those 2 weeks off before getting back into running here, it kind of let it get to where it could be agitated super easily. I didn't know all this. Nowadays I don't have to worry about my Achilles ever flaring up because I've grown out of that, but it was kind of a funny time. It definitely would always flare up and I kind of forgot about how annoying that injury was. I'm surprised, I'm happy I made it through, but surprised at the same time. Short run, testing Achilles, ached, but did not get worse. So improvement, 6/18/15, so a week or two in, working our way up. What I'm noticing is that a lot of times I would go bike, run, bike, run, bike, run, bike, run. But the thing is that a lot of times I'd also run on the bike days, so it'd be sometimes a double whammy, but a lot of cross training at the start of this season. On 6/19/15 I did bike, which was 13.7 miles, and I said ride to Fox Hall and more. Short, but fun. Not trying to hurt my Achilles. Let's try and find some more juicy stuff because of course, it's fun to look back at the early slower days, but there must be some good stuff in here. This time I didn't even include the pace because I think it was super, super, super slow. For all of them I put the pace except for this one, and I said run around Deep Run Park slow and steady at the start. Though Tyler and I sped up, Tyler and I were practically racing near the end. Wow, I don't know. It happens. Power gets to your head when you're running fast on your team, but it happens. Okay, so this is the first workout that I found, and I think this is super interesting because I actually remember this. I distinctly remember this, and now that I'm reading it, I can recall it. But it was on 6/24/15, and I ran 4.3 miles. And so basically I said 15-minute warm-up at Deep Run from Shady Grove YMCA. 2-mile tempo out and back to Food Lion. Tyler Spears and I, and Jacob Spears and I, all ran about the same time of 11:53. Started out slower, progressed quicker, and then near all out at the end. The goal was slightly under 12. Okay, quick intermission. So today I want to surprise my friend Max Messenger. I met him on Instagram DMs, and I'm gonna link him down in the description below. He's turning 16 years old today, and I would love to surprise him by getting him to 1,000 subscribers. So please, if you don't mind, go subscribe, go follow, go check out Max's content. He's an amazing guy, and it would mean a lot to me. I love you all. Back to the video. I was really bad at writing this, like it was kind of choppy. Oh my gosh, I was really chasing the times. Oh my gosh. In this entry, I was like, our 10K time for the run was 48 minutes and 13 seconds. I was so proud of that. I mean, it's interesting. Okay, so now we're moving into some of the bigger runs. We're definitely getting a lot more in shape. So like at the start of this, we're running more like 8-minute, like 7 high pace. And then now we're working down to like a 7:05 run for 8.4 miles, which was 59 minutes, 29 seconds. And this was on 7:13:15, so quickly, like only a month, and I was already in much better shape. And so it was a 60-minute run with a 20-minute progression at the end. Tyler and I ran fast at the start and progressed to even faster at the end. I was running 6:23 pace. Oh my gosh, I don't think that was meant to be a progression. Like I think I just made up that we progressed at the end, because the next day we literally had a workout, and so I don't think we were supposed to have a workout day after day. Like I don't think my coach does that or did that. I know he doesn't do that, but like don't think he did that. But we went into a good old 6x 2-minute hard, 1-minute easy fartlek, which is a staple. If you are a high schooler, if you are even in college, like that is a staple workout. Nowadays they do like 3-minute hard, 1-minute easy. That's like a more classic one for me in college now. But back in high school, like 2 minutes hard, 1-minute easy, or 1-minute hard, 1-minute easy was just like a staple. Like these are some of the base workouts that we did all the time. Fartlek at Deep Run Park, easy warm up with the team. We all went hard at first, and then we tried to keep up that intensity. Later that day, Grace and Reed and I went to the Raba group ride, and we went inside, but apparently I went for a 42.3 mile bike ride at the end. After that workout in the morning, I went for a 42.3 mile bike. What was I doing? Oh my gosh. So apparently I decided to switch to writing in cursive and writing in interesting pens, being like fountain pens and stuff like that, and you know, it doesn't make it easier to read. I mean, the handwriting's better, but it's not like crystal clear for reading or anything like that. But nonetheless, let's continue to some stories. Oh my gosh. As much as, you know, I was running like 7:13 pace for my easy runs, I'll still go out and run a nice easy run at 7:13 pace. Like that is the weird part, because although like these paces don't seem super fast, they also aren't super slow. Like a lot of these I'll still go out and hit on like a weekly basis. Okay, so I have found the first race of my sophomore season after a full summer of training. After taking you through this summer of training, all the weird things that had happened, it is time to get into a race. And then after this, I'll probably try and find another, like one more great story from this and read it out. But this is my first race. And after that, I have a really some exciting news, some exciting stuff to tell you. Race day. I was super nervous for this first meet. Not knowing how I would do killed me. I lined up with my team, the varsity guys, all ready to race. Gun went off, all nerves went away. The race had begun. There was a lot of pushing to get to the position that people wanted to get to. The pace settled. Like I wrote this in a super dramatic way. I don't even know what I was doing. I saw Jack Eikenberry a few spots ahead of me, and I made a move or a surge to pass him. That was to show him I was back. And through the mile we were 5:04, and then the race was almost over. My final time was 17:12. Jack, if you're watching this, I'm sorry for calling you out like that, but that was a really interesting moment since Jack Eikenberry and I had been racing when we were younger. When we were 8th graders, we would race each other all the time. He was much better than I was. But, freshman year, I was like, yo, I'm gonna catch him. Like, I'm gonna get there with him. Like, this is gonna be the year. And he probably didn't know my name at that point. Like, I was just kind of like floating around. I hope he knew my name, but I wanted him to know my name because I was like, yo, Jack is super good and I am not that good yet, but I'm hoping to be good. And so during this race, I saw him ahead of me and I just made a conscious surge in my head. I was like, I'm gonna catch him and pass him just to let him know that like, I'm here to race, like I'm here to compete. I'm 99.99999% sure that I ended up being Jack in this race, which is one of my proudest moments. I want to read one last story, a story with Bashir, because Bashir's the man. Bashir and I have the podcast. We're best friends now. And this really was the start of our friendship. It's kind of cute, just the start of a great friendship here in running, in the sport together. And okay, so I found a good one with Bashir. This was from a big time in our career, the big time in our friendship. This was from 10, 11, 15, and this was a Sunday. I remember this being a Sunday because of what it says here. So it basically says Bashir and I were both unhappy with our races, and so we chose to do a workout of our own, which is kind of funny because who chooses to do a workout of their own? 9.7 miles in 68 minutes, so pretty fast. But to pick up where we left off, it said, we wound up warming up at Deep Run Park. Then we ran over to Falcon Bridge Road. So Deep Run Park, great park in my area, but then Falcon Bridge is a road near it, so hilly. It's just 2.5 miles of hilliness if you go out and back 2.5 miles. And so we did it twice, and so it says 5.2 miles in 33 minutes. That's like fast for now. It says the pace was 6:21 on these hills. So like, that's a good run. Like that is probably one of the hardest workouts it seems like I've done up until this date. Like honestly, if I was to do this workout right now on that road, 6:21 pace is not easy on that road. Like that is a hilly road. So pretty impressive. And it says, on super long hills, my legs were dead after that hilly workout. Fun day with Bashir. So that was the last story from this journal for today. Of course, I can read more in the future. If you like this, be sure to drop a like down below. If we get 1,500 likes, I'll read more of it like this week. Like I'll do more of it this week. But I have some important announcements about the channel and about what's gonna be happening this summer. I'm super excited. So let me tell you what's gonna be happening this summer. Okay, so my quick final bit of news is that summer break is happening this Thursday. I'm free on Thursday. I'm done with school, no more exams, none of that. So that means I'm gonna have a lot more free time on my hands. And so I'm gonna be creating more videos for this channel. My goal is to get up to 3 videos a week, but I'm gonna start out with 2. And so the first one is gonna be the Tuesday usual video, always a Tuesday video, but then I'm gonna either post on Thursday or Friday, Road to Portland, which will be my experience going to the Portland Track Festival, preparing for the Portland Track Festival. Hopefully it'll be a 5-part series of me training, preparing, getting ready, my gear, my nutrition, all that stuff to get ready for my 10K there. Super excited for that. And then hopefully I'll add on another vlog or another informative video or something like that throughout the week. But I hope that you enjoy the future content. Subscribe to stay in the loop, and I will see you next Tuesday. I love you all. Live happy, be healthy. I'll see you soon.
But if you don't like this music, then don't be listening to